Here along with my sister Lavita Pyers of an incredible tax educational platform where we educate the masses, brick and mortar business owners, entrepreneurs, 9 to 5, hardworking W-2 wage earning individuals how to legally, ethically, and morally drastically reduce and even, like my wife and I have done, eliminate the form of federal and state income taxes being extracted from our income, and we learn it directly from the IRS, the entity that most people have been taught to be frightened of. So I truly believe that the elite wealthy does not want the masses to be awakened about the deception, about the corruption, about the financial enslavement. I'm going to use some deep words this morning, but I'm going to back them up with documentation. I have a saying, documentation beats conversation, okay? Documentation beats conversation. The financial enslavement to the masses in this country and now the entire world. And so I titled this message, Why the Masses Don't Understand these 3 words: gold is money. Why the masses don't understand that gold is money. I call it a Harriet Tubman movement. Harriet Tubman is the young lady from the Underground Railroad that escaped slavery. She knew that she was supposed to be free. She knew that something wasn't right. She knew that freedom belonged to her. And she escaped she escaped enslavement. And not only did she escape, not only did she free herself, she found out that she was supposed to be free. She found a country where it said, yeah, you're free. You're supposed to be free. Slavery is illegal. And she went back to I want you to get this. She went back to get the slaves to let them know that I discovered freedom. Now, sadly, she had to take a shotgun with her. You know why? If you read the story, Harriet Tubman had to take a shotgun back with her. Watch this. Not to protect herself against the enslavers, but to protect herself against the slaves that would get halfway to freedom and then quit and try to go back to tell Massa that she was leading the slaves to freedom. So she said, I'll shoot you dead. I'll shoot you dead. Okay? And so I truly feel that we're leading people to financial prosperity. I believe that we're actually freeing people. So why don't the masses understand what the super wealthy understands, what the super rich understands, what the super rich countries understand? Currently, right now, every country is buying as much gold as they can. Don't take my word for it. Go Google it, because everything on Google is true, right? Go Google it. Every country, Russia, China, Asia, you name it, is buying as much gold as they can. Why aren't they buying as much treasury bonds as they can? Why are they buying gold? Why are they hoarding gold? Forget about those other countries. The United States government bought more gold than it has bought over the last several years. What's going on? See, I often say, don't do what the wealthy tells you to do. Do what the wealthy does. I can tell you what the wealthy are doing. The wealthy are not going to sit in the cubicles for 8 to 10 to 12 hours a day for a paycheck. The wealthy don't think W-2. The wealthy thinks 1099. So why is it that the masses have been taught to go to school, get a good education, to do one thing, The whole sole purpose is in my video this morning. I'm gonna expose the truth. It's gonna hurt, but I'm gonna expose the truth. Okay? The whole sole purpose of you going to school is to train you to get a job. But the wealthy don't have jobs. The wealthy are taught to create jobs. It's in my video. The wealthy are taught to create jobs. Their children are taught to go out and create jobs, and the masses are taught to go to school to be trained how to act on the job. I'm not beating up jobs. I'm trying to expose you to something. I'm trying to come back and get you off the plantation of big corporation where you're going to die if you don't get informed. Warren Buffett said, if you don't find a way, I don't care how much money you make, if you don't find a way to make money while you're sleeping, because you only have 24 hours in the day, you're going to work until you die. That has never been more true than today. It has never been more true than today. Think about it. You got baby boomers right now that have retired, and they were sold on the fact that their money would be able to continue to earn money. Well, if you look at the interest rates, the baby boomers aren't earning anything. In fact, their money is depreciating because of inflation faster than the 0.1% they're probably getting in the bank. So the baby boomers are suffering because of the manipulation of the money system. Their money isn't earning enough money for them to remain retired. So they're going to have to figure out, there's only so many Walmart jobs out there, okay? And bless Walmart's heart for hiring, some of these baby boomers, to supplement their income. I mentioned the word inflation in my video today. I'm going to uncover the manipulation of inflation and who creates it and why they create it. You won't believe the entity that purposely creates inflation. What is inflation? What is inflation? Inflation is that very financial cancer that eats at the value of your money, eats at the purchasing power of your money. So, let me give you an example. I put a post on Facebook yesterday, and I showed a $10,000 gold certificate. If you see that post, I want you to open your screen. I want you to zoom in to what it says on that bill. Very powerful information on that bill. It says that this certified that there has been deposited in the United States Treasury $10,000 in gold coin, watch this, payable to the bearer on demand as stated by law. As stated by law. Now I want you to pull out a $20 bill, a $1 bill, a $5 bill. Pull that out your pocket and read across the top of it. And then ask yourself, where's my promise? What is payable to me by demand for this paper dollar that I'm going to work for? Absolutely nothing. Why don't the masses understand those three powerful words to financial security? Why don't the masses understand the three most powerful words to creating generational wealth? They don't understand because over 40 plus years they were financially enslaved. Even to this day, they're still suffering from the enslavement. It goes back, and you say, well, why do you keep using that word enslavement? Because it is a form of enslavement. It's the same enslavement rules that were applied to the slaves. Now the wealthy are applying it to the masses. During slavery, it was forbidden to teach a slave how to read. Okay, let's put a little common sense with this. Sometimes the truth hurts. So during slavery, it was forbidden, in fact, illegal. You could get in prison if you were teaching a slave how to read. Okay, let me ask you a question. What was wrong with the slave reading the book? Pass a little time, right? I mean, been out in the field picking cotton all day, right? Master's been all on his back, standing over with the shotgun. What's wrong with what's wrong with a brother, reading the book and, reading himself to sleep? What was the problem with teaching this slave how to read? Let me tell you what was wrong with what was wrong with it and why it's happening today. I'm not talking about reading a book. I'm not talking about, the traditional educational economic, go to school and learn how to read, write, and arithmetic. Half of them arithmetic you don't even use. Okay? I said I wasn't gonna get fired up this morning. I am already fired up. So what was the purpose of not teaching the slave how to read? Because if the slave was able to learn how to read, they would discover that they was unconstitutionally enslaved. And so here's why the masses, here's the mic drop, here's why the masses don't understand. Here's why the masses, when someone says to them, I've got a way for you to acquire gold, and oh my God, and you can acquire this gold under one of the most incredible entities that removes the penalty of taxation, which is called a business, and you can acquire that gold, and in many cases, the tax deductions, the saving of the money you're already losing offsets the amount of money that you acquired. You didn't buy anything. You acquired the gold with 100-fold. Some of you didn't even get that. You have to go back and listen to that because I'm not even going to repeat that. Some people are thinking, well, how much does the gold cost? What do you mean? How much does the gold cost? How can you possibly ask that question unless you're totally uninformed of what money is? Let me explain myself. The American dollar has a 100% track record. It doesn't matter what my opinion is. It doesn't matter what your opinion is. It doesn't matter what President Donald Trump opinion is. The facts are the facts, and everybody's assumption doesn't matter. The U.S. dollar has a 100% track record of declining in purchasing power. It has never been worth more than the day that you work for it. It has a 100% documentation. I bet $1,000 in gold to a donut that no one could ever show me where a dollar was ever worth more than $1 or worth $1 a year later in purchasing power. See, it doesn't matter how much you keep, or it doesn't matter how much you make. People say, oh, I make $100,000 a year. No, you don't. You don't make $100,000 a year. You're going to lose $30,000 in taxes. So you really make $70,000, but you really don't make that a year. The U.S. dollar has a 100% track record of declining in purchasing power. Some of you are saying, okay, sound good, but I don't know what you mean. Let me give you an example. 1971. I love this example because it really kind of narrows it down. 1971, one U.S. dollar could buy 4 loaves of bread. A loaf of bread was 25 cents. So we could all do that easy math. I mean, if you got past first grade, or really even Head Start, you got this one. Okay, $1, okay, would buy 4 loaves of bread. A loaf of bread was 25 cents. Let me ask you a simple question. How many of you can buy a loaf of bread today for 25 cents? How many of you can go to the store and get 4 loaves of bread for $1 today? If you can't, then that means your dollar from 1971 has collapsed 100% in purchasing power. I gotta make sure I drive this home, because this is what they don't want you to understand about money. See, it doesn't matter how much you make. All that matters is how much you keep. Okay, So I don't have a dollar. So let's assume that's a dollar, okay? And that dollar would get you 4 loaves of bread in 1971. Can you take that dollar out of the piggy bank today and go get 4 loaves of bread? The answer is no. And if you can, I wouldn't eat it. If you can get a loaf of bread for 25 cents or a dollar, I would not eat it. That's like that bread that my wife and I bought one time. It sat on the counter for a good Lord, I don't know, a month and a half and never turned green. Something was wrong with that bread, okay? You don't want to eat that bread, right? But watch this. Watch this. So we all can agree that that dollar has declined 100% because it no longer buys what it used to buy. Watch this. This 1 gram of gold in 1971 was valued at $1.12. Okay, one ounce of gold was $35. You divide that by 31 grams in an ounce, comes out to about $1.12. The value of that 1 gram of gold in 1971 could get you 4 loaves of bread. The value of that 1 gram today, if you just based it on the stock market price, the value of that 1 gram of gold today, or you take it to the We Buy Gold place, cash it in, take your cash, go to the store, and guess what? You can get yourself about 20 plus loaves of bread. So the dollar from 1971 lost 100% of its purchasing power, where the 1 gram of gold increased in purchasing power. So that post that I showed, where that $10,000 bill, if you were still able to hold the government to what the law says, I didn't say it was a law, that $10,000 gold certificate says, the law says that the bearer on demand that wants to take that back to the bank and hand it in is guaranteed $10,000 in gold. And today, $10,000 in gold is about $385,000. Ladies and gentlemen, almost $400,000 for every $10,000 that you have today in your account if our money was still backed up by real money gold. So that means for $100,000 sitting in your 401k, that would be about $3.8 million. The reason we're not on the gold standard, the reason the masses do not understand that gold is money, because if we were still on the gold standard, only one person would have to go to work. Do you guys remember when one person could take care of a family of 4 or 5 people? Do you understand that if we were still on the gold standard, you wouldn't have to work the 40-40-40 plan, 40 hours a week, 40 years of your life, and retire on 40% of what you're struggling to live on a day because of taxes, debt, and inflation. The reason we're not on the gold standard is because the greedy wealthy could not control the people, because the value of the money kept you in control. You didn't have to borrow money. You didn't have to use credit cards. None of that existed. They had to enslave the people. And what you're going to learn on my YouTube station, I am going to dispel the myth that you're free. You're not free. Trust me, not even in the United States of America, guys. So if you want to find out why the masses does not understand those 3 most powerful words that'll help you create generational wealth, gold is money. I just taught the slaves how to read, and so now you're free. I hope you guys got value. Share this information, guys. Look, honestly, it's not about how much money you make. I don't care what you make on your job. Don't matter. It's not how much money you make. It's how much money you keep. But at the end of the day, it's not how much money you keep. You can have $1 billion. It's how much your money will buy. And the dollar has a 100% track record of declining in purchasing power. So back to that statement. How much does the gold cost? How can you compare something that has a 100% track record of losing value, never ever goes up, always loses value, to something that has a 5,000 year track record of increasing in value? Over the last 5,000 years, gold has increased in purchasing power, and the dollar has decreased in purchasing power. So how can you ask me, how much does it cost when you're using something that has a 100-year guarantee, 100% guarantee of being worth less 5 years from now, when I'm giving you something that has a 5,000-year track record of being worth more than what it is today when you acquire it? I hope you guys picked up what I just put down right there, because that one should keep you up in the morning. We'll see you guys on the next one.